Right, so there's been some talk of this guy, Andrew Koritz, who was appointed as a financial expert, and as you've heard, he's a divorce attorney. So some of you might be thinking, well, how is it possible for a divorce attorney to be a financial expert? What you all should know, in divorces, judges often think divorce attorneys are experts in everything. So divorce attorneys become guardian ad litem. They become this, that, and the other. And it's a scam, because as a financial expert, as a guardian ad litem, as an appointee for anything else, they make money. So they will be the divorce attorney in one case, the financial expert in another case, the guardian ad litem in a third case. And it's a ring. The idea is to get your friends appointed to all of these cases, and then they owe you, they have to get you appointed to other cases. And that's why he brought this guy in. And he brought him in because he's not a financial expert, because Judge Orell wanted someone to validate his opinion, and now he's got it. The second thing is, there will be primarily men, some, not all, and probably not even most, who are going to look at this and think that this is a case of somebody gold digging or trying to get what's not hers. So the first thing you understand is, in a marriage, the law says you split the assets that you developed in the marriage 50-50. But even if you think the law is wrong, you think that this is just Madison's money, you're wrong. That's not what happened here. And it's very unfortunate that the people take these views and they generalize and they stereotype, because you miss the corruption. And there are cases where it's a gold digger, but even if it is, the law requires 50-50 splits of assets. But that's not what happened in this case. All right, so walk the audience through your and Madison's relationship with the Beermann Law Group. Who first approached them?
So I met with Beermann in around June of 2023. I divulged a lot of strategy, personal information, and this location we're standing in is part of that conversation with Beermann. Beermann knew that I wanted to protect my business, my premarital business, which is the salon that we're standing in, and next door, the bar restaurant, in another building. So we came up with a plan so that I could protect all of my assets and keep them operational. I decided not to hire Beermann, and then months later, my spouse brought Beermann on his team. So Beermann has been representing my spouse along with John Conniff, and they're using my strategy against me to make me lose my business.
That sounds impossible. That you must have brought that up in court.
Oh, there's a motion filed for it, recusal of Beermann to get them off the case. I filed motions on it. I've complained about it. I've brought it up over and over. But Judge Orell seems to want Beermann to stay on the case.
And how have they used the information you gave them against you?
So as I was asking for money, just for basic needs, because Madison took sole control of all of our assets. So me asking for just money to live off, Beermann sent me a financial coercion letter that I signed Madison's agreement and then I will have money. And then Madison threatened, if I don't sign his agreement, I will lose all of my businesses, including my salon. And this is what's happening as a result. I have the choice of walking away from millions in assets that we earn together with marital funds, or taking my business as is, which I will lose anyway without my assets. That's not much of a choice to give someone. It's gone.
When I was in court with you, you told me that Mr. Elster came up to you and said it's time to settle. Is that, when he says it's time to settle, what does he mean? What is that? So what is that settlement going to look like?
Yeah, that's an additional time. That's an example of Attorney Elster threatening me with either I settle and walk away from our assets, digital currency, business interests, and then I can have money to buy food with every month and pay bills if I sign off on all of my other assets.
So they're willing to give you enough alimony for you to live as long as you say there are no community assets, and he keeps everything, which of course he says is zero. That's the deal?
Well, correct. They're willing to give me alimony for 3 years only if I say there's no other assets and no digital currency or no business interest, but for 3 years only. And then after that, I will be homeless.
All right, now, Andrew Koritz did put some digital assets into his report. Is that right?
Andrew Koritz put very little digital assets in the report.
Before Cora's report, though, how much in digital assets did Madison say he has?
Oh, well, according to Madison's financial affidavit, we had no currency, no digital currency.
So that's still a breakthrough. That shows that Madison has been lying, because some, even a little, is more than zero.
Absolutely. There's an example of Madison lying and another example of other people covering up his lies.